What is up, YouTube? Today, we're diving into the best SKS attachments and calibrations in Delta Force. The SKS is a Marksman rifle meant for medium to long range engagements. Its default fire rate is 510 rounds per minute, but realistically you will rarely fire that quickly due to the precise aim needed at those ranges. With this build, I have intentionally reduced the RPM to 440, exchanging some fire rate for significant boosts to range and muzzle velocity. This setup extends your effective range from 55 to 70 meters, giving you a lot more flexibility in mid to long range fights. I've increased the muzzle velocity, making it easier to hit moving targets without needing to lead shots as much. The magazine capacity is increased from 10 to 30 rounds so that you won't have to reload as often, which is especially useful when engaging multiple targets. Both the recoil control and stability are improved, which reduces your visual recoil and your lens shake, making it easier to keep your aim on the target. Overall, this build turns the SKS into a much faster and easier to use marksman rifle. You will lose some theoretical time to kill, going from 353 milliseconds to 405 milliseconds, but the practical improvements in muzzle velocity, range, control, and handling more than make up for it. With all of that said, let's get into the attachments. We begin with a blank SKS, and we go from the tip to the butt, starting off with the handguard, where the only option here is the SKS Advanced Handguard, which is going to allow us to put a whole bunch of more attachments on this weapon. Let's put it on. Now that we have a true ability to customize the weapon, let's go for the barrel, where we go for the SKS Instant Ultra Long Barrel. This is going to increase our muzzle velocity, our range, give us better control and stability, all which are very important on a marksman rifle. So let's put it on. For the muzzle, the silent suppressor seems to be the most worth it because of the increase in range. This is a marksman rifle and you're going to be dropping your damage by a lot the further you are if your range value is too low. This is going to decrease our fire rate, but the muzzle velocity increase and the range increase that we get is more than worth it, since either way you're not going to be shooting this fast unless you're very close range to someone, which you should not be using this type of marksman rifle. This will also keep you off the minimap pretty well, and the single fire control and stability is going to go way up, although it won't really show it in the stats here. So let's put it on. Then on the foregrip, the best one that I have found for this weapon is the X25U angled combat grip. This weapon actually needs a lot of control, surprisingly enough, although it's single fire, so this combat grip, it's going to be the best option because it barely decreases your stability and handling. So let's put it on. For the left, the right, and the upper rails, the KC Hound handguard panels is the best one here because we can increase our stability by 1 per handguard panel that we actually put on. It might not sound like much, but they do add up in the end. Next up is the magazine, where I find that the 30 round magazine is more than enough for the weapon, and it only helps us with the handling, so let's put it on. Also, don't forget to put on the mag assist for the extra 1 free handling. Next up is the rear grip, where the Scorpio rear grip really shines due to the high amount of control that we get out of it. This is going to make sure that we keep our shots as close together as possible, even when you're spamming your left click. This is going to ensure that your shots are as close as possible, even when you're spamming your fire button. Then on the stock, surprisingly enough, we're not going for the skeleton stock, we're actually going for the UR Spec Ops tactical stock. This gives us that extra boost of control and stability that we need, given that handling is not as important with this type of weapon as with others, so we care more about control and stability. Let's put it on. And lastly, on the optic, my favorite one here is the Russian Accuracy 2x scope. That is because of the pretty bad range that the SKS has. I find that 2x is more than enough, even up to 160 meters. Of course, this is all preference though, so you could really choose whichever one you want here. If you're going to be going for further out ranges, then probably the M157 fire control system with the kill flash would be the right one for you. But right now, the Russian Accuracy 2x scope seems to be just about enough for every engagement. This is the finished build, so let me show you the detailed stats so that you can see what will be changing with the calibration. You can see that our damage fall-off multiplier has definitely increased from the default, making it a lot more viable to use at longer ranges. But this is not going to change with the calibration, so let's move on to the control, where you can see that our single vertical recoil multiplier and our single fire horizontal recoil multiplier are very good, right along with our current firing stability. These are going to get even better though, so you will barely have to control any recoil on the weapon. Moving on to to the handling, you can see that they're pretty good. The ADS movement speed is going to get a little bit better because although this is a marksman rifle, we still want to make sure that we're able to dodge our shots left and right if you're facing another marksman rifle, for instance. You'll see these stats getting better overall during the calibration, so let's move on to the stability, where you can see that we actually, surprisingly enough, don't need that much current lens stability on the SKS because the default is already pretty good, but our breath holding duration has gone way up. That means that you always want to be holding your breath because it reduces the amount of recoil that you experience by a notable amount, as you can see here. Breath sway range and the movement stability are going to get a little bit worse, but that's okay because the stats are still going to be way better than the default. So let's move on to the calibration now, starting off with the barrel, where we put the weight limit all the way down to the minimum for the extra ADS movement speed. As I said, you're gonna still want that, and our length all the way down to the minimum for the extra ADS speed. The extra muzzle velocity won't really matter too much because your muzzle velocity is already so much higher than it was by default that you should not have to lead enemies that much at all when they're running sideways. Then on the foregrip, we move the thickness all the way down to the minimum for even more ADS movement speed, considering that we don't care too much about the stability when moving. Then we move on to the rear grip, where we put the weight limit all the way to the maximum for the extra control, and the thickness all the way down to the minimum for the extra hipfire aim speed, which is going to help out your ADS speeds. Then we move on to the stock, where we do the same thing by putting the weight limit all the way up to the maximum so that we can have extra control, and the placement all the way down to the minimum so that you can have extra ADS speed. And don't worry about the downsides because even though they look a little heavy, you will see that the final stats are much better anyways than the default, and you're going to be very happy with them. So let's move on to the optic now, where we move the zoom all the way to the maximum, which is going to put us at a zoom of 2.25x. This is definitely going to be enough even up to 160 meters, but again, if you want, you can just change out the optic entirely. And the eye relief, we put it all the way down to the minimum so that you can see as much as possible inside of your optics window. Now let's take a look at the final stats of the weapon after all the calibration. Damage fall off does not change at all, so let's move on to the control, where you can see that our current single vertical recoil multiplier is very good, and same thing with our horizontal recoil multiplier. Our firing stability is also splendid, so you should not have any issues with the shot variance. Moving on to the handling, again, our current ADS speed has definitely improved. This is more than good enough for a marksman rifle. This is actually a little bit fast for a marksman rifle, and the current ADS movement speed is just slightly better than the default, making it much easier for you to dodge shots, especially when you're having a marksman rifle battle. And last but not least, on the stability, you can see that almost everything stayed the same. You still have lower breath sway range and better current movement stability, while all the other stats are extremely good. But now that you know the stats and we have dialed in our attachments and calibration, let's hop into the firing range to see how it handles. Let's get up against this wall, and now I'm going to be spamming the left click button without controlling my mouse at all. This is pretty much as fast as I can click with a single finger, and you can see that it barely really moves. And now for my second magazine, I'm not going to hold my breath, but I am going to try to control my recoil as best as possible to keep as many of my shots in a tight group. And as you can see, it's not that hard to control as I spam my left click button and I don't hold my breath. But now for my third magazine, I'm going to actually control my recoil and hold my breath so that you can see how much easier it becomes to control that recoil while holding breath. And that was much better than before, quite easy to do that while holding breath. The SKS is the only marksman rifle that the assault class can use, making it a very interesting MR, but it lacks an ability. It's more of a fun weapon to use to just level instead of a weapon that you would actually use as a marksman. But now that we have the build locked in, let's jump into a fun match in Cracked to see the setup in action. Enjoy! We're in Cracked today, already finding somebody right as we get in here. We're playing with the SKS as Luna, of course. She is kind of my favorite recon. Let's see what we can do with her today. She's gotta have a respawn beacon around here. Yep, right there. This weapon is really not amazing at these very long ranges, due to it just being a normal marksman rifle. That does take somewhere around 5 or 6 shots at this range. It's kind of crazy. You do not want to use it as a counter-sniping weapon, as much as you might think you might want to do that. We're on the defense side, which is really good, considering that you want to use the weapon as a defensive weapon. I got her with a grenade. Oh yeah. See who we got down here. There's got to be someone. At these ranges, 132 meters, you're really not going to be dealing that much damage. So your best bet is to get somebody who is already hurt. Hold on. First, let me see if I can get her. If she stops moving, that'll be great. As you can tell, I've already hit her like 5 times, and that does not do enough damage, so you don't really want to do that. Didn't think... Oh, here we go. He heard me, too, at the last second. He almost got me. On the bright side, we do have 30 rounds on the SKS on this build. But 30 rounds is more than enough. I do wish that there was a 20 or 25 round magazine. That would definitely be better for it. But for now, we got 30. Let's get this guy. Is that an enemy? It is. Now, because our time to kill is really not the best at these ranges, let's see if I can just live here. That would be nice. I'm alive. I've done it. I had to hit her like twice in the head to be able to actually get her at that range. It's gonna be a little harder than usual. Harder than usual, I mean. There we go. 2 shots to the face will do it. I'm so dead here. There's no way I live. Oh my god, I live. I shot him in the knee. A lot of recons in the enemy team right now, so it looks like they're getting some spawn beacons down. In places that I do not want these spawn beacons to be down. Let's get her first. There's a sniper shooting at me constantly. But I know where they're at, and they're way too far, so I'm gonna ignore them. There's 3 enemies on this rock right now, so if I go all the way around, should be able to do something. What? I did not expect this guy to already be shooting this way. Here's one. There we go. There's one more on this rock somewhere. No spawn beacon. I think we're okay. Maybe they died. Hello. That's just about the perfect range for it, because other weapons are gonna have worse time to kill than you would expect at that like 60-meter mark. But they will be able to hit you a lot quicker. As long as you don't miss too much, you'll be fine. Somebody from behind again. I don't know where they're coming from. This is a marksman battle right now. Wait, okay, hold on. There's like 2 snipers from the right. There's these people in the front of me right now. What is happening? No, leave me alone, man. I have no idea. Well, she doesn't. There we go. Oh, I hear her, though. As long as she misses, there we go. Now we're talking. Spawn beacon's gotta be over here. There it is. Bam. That's right. That's right, buddy. Shooting at me from a little far. 81 meters is kind of ideal for us here. Not the best range ever, but it does make it a little bit harder for them to hit you, being in that range. Just throw this out here real quick as I reload. I should have taken a little bit longer to aim that. But thankfully, it's like they have no idea that I'm here because of my suppressor. She was trying to knife me! She was trying to knife me! Oh, if I would have known that, I would have tried to knife her back. See how many shots it takes for this. Yeah, she's already moving. I'm not going to be able to do that. Oh my god, I got her. 208, that's insane. That's crazy. She was teabagging. As you can tell, the damage is not the greatest. At this range, there's a huge drop-off. He's already healed up by the time that I'm hitting him on the next one. He's going left and right here. Seeing who hits the most amount of shots. It seems like he's winning right now. No. There we go, 135. We've done it. You only deal 27 damage at our best range, which is 70 meters. So as you can imagine, the drop is quite large past 70 meters. Other rifles are gonna have issues at that range too, obviously. But you definitely want to try your best not to miss. Anybody down here? Oh yeah, they are. There we go. This guy. No! Hit me in the face with the sniper! Against the clock here, but let me see if I can get it right on top real quick, so I can get a couple headshots in. Or, I guess that's fine. That works too. Where's from? No way. I don't know how I didn't hit him in the face there. Okay, well that works. Oh, well then. Not expecting that. Or that. Here we go. Sadly, our time to kill is pretty bad. It's 405 milliseconds, even at our best ranges, which means that this gun is really not going to be the one that you want to challenge others with. So our whole strategy this game will be to try to take fights that they don't know you're there. Throw this right here, put out a nice little beacon. I let him revive her by accident. It's okay, we still got him. Oh. Burn, burn. What the hell's this guy doing over here? That's a couple of them. Wait a minute. That's more than I thought. Let's go up over here so they don't know that I'm coming this way. Oh, I got shot from behind. That's what I get for trying to be smart. Ooh. Perfect spot for me to get him. Oh, let's get the respawn beacon first, yeah. This guy alive? Oh no. Hold on. Now they all know I'm here. There's like 3 people that know I'm here now. I failed. Should have gotten the healer. Whoa. Wow, she's hitting me real far. Some very good aim. Let's throw this out right around there with the bounce on. Yep, landed exactly where I wanted it to. Thought I heard footsteps. I did. Right here. Bam. Oh, that's not good. Oh, hello. Almost got me, almost got me. Should be able to revive my teammate. Luna, stick with each other. Oh. Hey. One more shot? Okay, never mind. Let me go to the left. Oh! I can't believe she missed that much. That's so embarrassing. Hang up her license. There we go. Yes. I love to see it. That's what I like to see. Funny because I didn't want to increase the muzzle velocity just because I don't think it's necessary at the ranges you'll be using this at. Who's that? Oh no. Ah, they saw me. What? Why is she still shooting? No, she's teabagging me. Yeah, that's what you get. You deserve that. Hello. This guy's always around this area here too. Okay, never mind. Headshot. Another one. Oh man, I messed up. One more. Need to land 3 headshots at this distance. Sadly. Yeah. I'm gonna go all the way around here. Put my respawn beacon on the rock. Get a little bit closer to them. Throw out my thing. That almost hit me. There we go. She really put up a fight. Oh, there's somebody right here. How do I get up here? She probably hears me unless she has, like, no headphones. I don't think she has headphones. Oh my god, she doesn't have headphones. No, why did I do this? No. No. This might not be the best game ever, especially using the SKS. But I'm definitely having fun. And isn't that all that matters in the end? I gotta throw that a little bit higher up. Oh, hello. Should be able to get him. There we go. Good. Gotta wait for that Luna ultimate to wear off. Oh, that's not who I expected. They're right behind the... Yeah. I hear another one. Wait, there's 2. I'm gonna ignore this one for a second because I hear another one. Yep. Patience is what the game is all about. Gave her the good back shot. Huh? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm running away. She never saw that coming. Did you now? Yeah, that's right. Okay, I don't like that. Who else wants some? Yes! No! Oh, she's giving me the back shots. Okay, hold on. Hold on. There we go. Oh. There's another one. Oh, so close. Hold on. Let me get over there. No. Really trying to get around here. Not gonna allow them. Okay, I did not know there was a hole here. That's really good to know, actually, for future use. It's funny, though, because most weapons I don't really recommend lowering the RPM. But going from, like, 510, which you'll never reach, to 440, it's actually not a bad deal. And I'd still need to hit her one more time to actually get that kill, which is crazy. That's the sad part about the SKS. I do wish it did a little bit more damage. Destroy my respawn beacon. That's so rude. I gotta wait for the next one. Oh, I hear someone. Yeah, through the little cracks. Never saw it coming. But they keep spawning there. That's what I'm wondering. Where's the respawn beacon? Oh, you know what? I think I know where it's at. It's gotta be behind this rock. There it is. Yep. Finally. Oh my goodness, that took forever. Alright, let's put out my guided missile. Hopefully to get a couple kills here. Throw it right inside of the point. There's gotta be a lot of them there. Hello. That is a whole team on that side. Thankfully I didn't get shot again. Yeah, there we go. Well, not that many, but better than my usual. My usual is like 2 kills. Maybe I can get her still. She shows up again. I might be... Oh, I forgot this one was here. Destroyed C1. That was kind of cool. Never done that before. Probably a bad idea, though. Look at that. Absolutely no building. Really gotta get on the next point, though. If we lose this, I think it might have been my fault for destroying that. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, God. Get away. Get away from me. I don't like that. Let's get on C2. Let's get on C2, team. Don't mind that it was my fault that we're in trouble. And that was the SKS. We had a nice 71 kills with it. That's actually pretty good for being a marksman rifle and not my main playstyle. Hopefully you saw what to do, and I really hope you enjoyed this build. So in the comments down below, let me know what you thought of this SKS build, and if you have a way to improve it even more. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. I will out.